Hey guys, welcome back to part two of our six-part series of the SNS Sportscast. There's Saddam Sack. Today, we're going over the American League East Division. Yes, this features my favorite team, the Bronx Bombers, Pinstripes, New York Yankees. And how could I not have the Yankees win in this division? I have them edging the Rays by 3 games at a record of 37-23, with the Tampa Bay Rays going 34-26. Both teams, in my opinion, are top 5 rosters in baseball. Mm-hmm. Yankees top 2, probably at number 2, and I got the Rays at anywhere from 4 to 5. These are 2 great teams. Then the rest of the division, a little weak. You know, you got the Red Sox, the up-and-coming Blue Jays, who are going to be good in a couple years. I still don't think this year, but they'll shake some heads. The Red Sox, they're on a down year. They got rid of Mookie Betts. I love every second of it. If it was up to me, I hope they don't win a single game. 0-60 is perfect for me. Anyway, and then you have the Orioles, who are, of course, the bottom of the barrel. So, Maddie, I'm sure there's not much that we're going to disagree on when it comes to the AL East.
Not much, but one thing I'm going to say is I actually think the Blue Jays are a little bit further ahead in their development than you think. I do think that they're going to be able to take advantage of the fact that they play the Orioles, 20 times or 10 times? 10 times. 10 times. Yeah. They play the Orioles 10 times. The Red Sox, who I think they could beat the Red Sox. I think that their staff's good enough, and I think their lineup could play with them. Mm-hmm. Very close. I mean, look, I'm with you. Yankees, my opinion, maybe the best team in baseball other than the Dodgers. Them 1A to me.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they're really close. Tampa Bay as well, another absolutely loaded team with deep starting pitching and bullpen and an underrated lineup. They made some good moves in the offseason to strengthen their outfield defense with Hunter Renfroe and Manuel Margot from the Padres. Mm-hmm. But I do think the Blue Jays are ready to take a step forward. I like some bounce-back years, not bounce-back, some improvements from last season on all 3 of their young guys in Bichette and Biggio and Guerrero. I like the signing of Hyun-Jin Ryu. I think they're a better team, and I just think that the Red Sox and the Orioles just aren't going to be all that good this year.
Right, I agree. And what we highlighted yesterday was pitching and bullpen pitching, and that's why these pesky Tampa Bay Rays are going to be so good this year. Yep. If their rotation stays healthy, I mean, last year, you had Glasnow go down with injury. If he stays healthy, you got Charlie Morton, who's been one of the best pitchers in the game these last 2 years. He really revived his career. And, of course, Blake Snell at the top of that staff. That is a scary 3-headed monster that they're going to be throwing out every 3 out of 5 days. And then their bullpen, it's just one deep arm after the next. I mean, Chaz Rowe, you got Nick Anderson, Alvarado. Their bullpen is loaded. Mm-hmm. But so is the Yankees bullpen. And so is the Yankees starting staff, especially now with, of course, number 45, Garrett Cole. Everybody knows that huge 10-year or 9-year, $324 million deal. The Yankees got their guy. They lost Severino, which weakens their rotation a little bit, but they have a lot of pitching depth in their organization as well. And obviously, I think the Yankees have a top 2 lineup in baseball, 1 to 9. I mean, when you have Gary Sanchez batting 6th, I mean, are you kidding me? You have Gary Sanchez batting 6th in your lineup? That is just so scary. And then the guys like Brett Gardner and Gio Urshela rounded up the bottom of the lineup and Luke Voigt. So this Yankees lineup is just so potent, but there's just one huge question with the Yankees, and that is, of course, are they going to stay healthy?
Right.
It's only 60 games. As of now, everyone's healthy. We're reporting this to you guys a week away from opening day. Who knows what's going to happen within the next week, but I pray to God we could get a healthy 60-game season out of these guys, and I just really want to see what this lineup can do 1 to 9. So I got the Yankees winning this division 37-23, hopefully going on to win World Series number 28. But moving on, who's your breakout player for this division?
Well, you mentioned his name a little earlier, and in my opinion, it's got to be Tyler Glasnow of the Tampa Bay Rays. You said it, the Rays are a really good team. It's very weird how they can do so much with such a little payroll. Really how they do it, their front office is really, really good. Their player development is obviously really good as well.
Top of the league. They
were able to finesse Tyler Glasnow and Austin Meadows from the Pirates in the Chris Archer trade, which was one of the worst trades that the Pirates could have possibly made. I mean, they gave up absolute boatload for this guy who's just not ever been the same since his first couple of prominent years with the Rays. But I do think that Tyler Glasnow is potentially the best number 3 in baseball. I mean, look, stuff-wise, I mean, for now. He doesn't have the numbers to back it yet. I know last year in a small sample size, He was 6-1 with a
I was going to say,
1.43, I think it was. No, I'm sorry, 1.78.
He was nasty, and then he got hurt, unfortunately.
Right. If you look at him, he's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, wipeout slider. The guy is absolutely dirty, and if he comes back at any way, shape, or form healthy, a 60-game sprint like this might help him a lot. Right. Put him with the top of those guys, the two guys in Snell and Morton, Cy Young candidates every year. I think he has a real good chance to break out as a number 3 starter.
I completely agree with you there. I have a different player here, another young guy who we really only saw the peak of his potential, and that's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 20 years of age. We only had a small sample size of him as well, 464 at-bats. Now, everybody was hyping him up a lot. You remember Marcus Stroman came out and said, we have the next Zion of baseball. I think everybody had to calm their expectations down. Big guys were saying this is the best prospect they've seen ever since I don't know who, like Trout or something. But listen, he didn't disappoint, but he also didn't, exceed his crazy expectations that people had for him. He batted 272 and bounced 15 homers and 464 at-bats. So it was an okay year. Like I said, I'll take that from a 20-year-old, 15 home runs.
Oh, yeah.
Any day of the week. But the sky's the limit for Vlad Jr. Unfortunately, he's going to be in our division for a long time. He's got Bo Bichette to the left of him, who's an absolute stud. And that kid, he really exceeded his expectations. But look for a really big year for Vlad Jr. If not this year, definitely next year. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this league for a long time.
Absolutely. All right, so moving on, MVPs. As a Mets fan, it hurts me to say this a little bit, but it's got to be Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
I think that he's finally going to be able to stay healthy. Knock on wood. As much as I'm not a Yankees fan, I hate seeing guys get hurt, especially guys with so much talent.
Yeah.
I think this is the year that Judge solidifies himself as one of the best players in baseball. And if you just look at him, I was talking to my dad yesterday as we were watching the Mets game. I was like, it's almost like Yankee Stadium was built for Aaron Judge, in mind. He's the perfect guy to play outfield there, as he's one of the only guys that are able to patrol that place and jump over the wall and rob a home run.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he has enough power where all he has to do is poke the ball the other way. It's a home run, and he hit the ball all over the field. So it's really funny. I think he's a really good baseball player. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I'm sure you probably agree with me on this one.
No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. Of course I do. Aaron Judge, I think this is the year he takes that leap. We could even, if we want to call him breakout player of the division, but I like to keep that for more of the young guys, but because we've seen Judge break out before. Listen, like you said, if he can stay healthy, no question he's a top 5 talent in the game. It's just a big if. Hopefully this is the year he figures it out, stays healthy for just 60 games. And now without Mookie Betts in the American League, his only competition really for that MVP is going to be Mike Trout. Mike Trout may even sit out. But listen, Judge still gives him a run for his money. Judge plays as good an outfield as anybody, and that is one of the most untalked about facets of Judge's game. The way he plays right field and his arm, I've seen games where he just catches a ball off the wall, a one hopper to the wall, turns around without looking and nails somebody at second base, third base, home plate. You name it, Judge will throw him out at any base, and he covers that outfield with so much, confidence, and he just gets all over the field in the outfield, and the power speaks for itself. 52 home runs in his rookie year. Hasn't been able to replicate that since with the injuries, but he's a speed threat when he gets on base. And, batting 2 behind DJ LeMahieu, this is the year I think Judge puts it all together and earns the hype that he rightfully deserves.
Yep, I agree.
So, another really good sportscast, Batty. That's the AL East. Tomorrow we're going to be coming back to you guys, switching back to the National League with the NL Central.